Most people probably don't even know what a duper is. Duper, how would you explain what a duper is to all the people that don't know about pickleball?
Yeah, that's a great question. So duper is a dynamic universal rating for pickleball. So essentially what that is you need 7 matches in order for you to create a rating. And in pickleball, it's very interesting because one of the first questions he asked you is, what's your duper, right? And, we grew up playing football and basketball, and you don't go to a pickup game and say, hey, dude, what's your rating on the court? Most people don't ever, can't give you an exact rating. But if you ask me, I'm a 4.02 right now, right? And so it's one of the unique things about pickleball where people care so much about what their duper score, what their rating is, and how they're progressing towards getting a higher duper, which is interesting.
Pickleball is super interesting in general. I was telling you earlier, I don't have a lot of brands that come on here, and I've seen you guys. I know other pickleball franchises. They've never been on the pod, but I know that you guys are you're doing big things out there. I saw what you did in one of the recent PPA tournaments. I think you were a sponsor of it. You've got some sponsorships, you've got some unique relationships. And so I thought, and then you're out there online, like you guys are out there making a splash. And so my love for pickleball, you guys seem like you're fun guys, and absolutely I want to play pickleball with you guys sometime. I wanted to have you on the pod to talk about pickleball franchising.
Yeah, no, let's talk pickleball. And I'm glad, Eric, that you recognize what we're doing, because to grow not only a pickleball brand, but to be a franchisor, I think people really underestimate how much and how, first of all, from a cost standpoint, but the effort and team that you have to bring in order to build that, right? And so right off the bat, we invested in that. We wanted not only to be one of the best and most recognizable brands in the pickleball space, but in the world, right? And so I think for us, we want to be synonymous with pickleball. When you hear Picklr, you relate it to pickleball always, and it's recognizable. And, for us, that's a huge compliment to the team we brought on. They're invested in what we're doing. And for heaven's sakes, pickleball is our job. It doesn't get better than that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk about that. Because at Front Street, I'm dealing with emerging brands all day long. I talk to 200 to 300 brands a year that are emerging, and I see what they need help with. And we try to paint a realistic picture of what it takes to go from an idea or some corporate locations to $100 million brand, because that's what everybody wants to get to, 100 million plus or 50 million plus, but they don't understand the work that it takes to actually get there. So where did the idea come from? And let's talk about some of the challenges or the things that you guys have experienced to get to where you are today.
Yeah. George always tells our initial story the best. So,
well, and it stinks that I have to tell it, because I've been playing pickleball since 2015. So, in this space, you're an OG at that point. And so when I tell people what my duper rating is and how long I've been playing, it should be a lot higher. It should be a lot higher. So I'm embarrassed to say how long I've played pickleball. But I was very fortunate to be introduced to pickleball, pretty early on. I always loved, playing ping pong. I worked for a lot of tech companies where, ping pong is what you played to relieve some stress. And Utah has been ahead of what the pickleball trend is. And so down the road from the company I worked at, there was 12 pickleball courts. And in 2015, that's unheard of. And so we would go to lunch and we would play. Again, you didn't know what pickleball looked like because there wasn't pro pickleball out there. We would play it a little bit like you would see in a senior citizen center, right? You dink the ball, you would try to do the best you could. And it wasn't until wintertime when there was only 4 courts in a rec center and there was 50 of us sitting there waiting to get on the game. And I was like, I would never do this for anything. Actually, maybe I would. The iPhone. I've waited in line for the iPhone many times. But I was just thinking in my head, I was like, this is crazy that I'm wasting my lunch just to try to get one game of pickleball in this rec center with, crappy courts. We're not even the priority. Volleyball and pickle or basketball would always kick us off. And so I thought, number one, this is crazy that a lot of us here are dedicating our time to come and play. And then number two, I saw some young kids just smashing the ball. They were moving, they were jumping to get the ball, they were diving to get the ball. I'm like, yeah, they played a little bit different than I do. And so my thinking cap came on. I was like, well, this sport is not being represented the same way. In 2015, if you told people you played pickleball, you're an old person. And so I started developing a brand called Kuro Sports. It's a paddle company. Just bring better design, better look and feel of a pickleball paddle. And that didn't happen in about 2019. Launched it, did Instagram ad, was selling like 100 paddles a month. Just as a fun side thing, the love of pickleball, and got laid off from a job December 2020. Had been through a couple exits. I've been through a company who worked in IPO, and just said I'm never going to work for anyone again. And so the days of playing in a rec center, I was like, why is no one doing full-time pickleball? Why is no one doing indoor courts with, you don't have to win in lights, you can go play. And so I picked up the phone and I called this dude and I said, Austin, I have an idea. I'm in, he says. And I was like, dude, let me tell you. He's like, I don't care what it is.
That's a good friend right there.
Yes. You got to have a friend like this in your back pocket. And, so I told him the concept, I told him the idea. We had played tournaments together. So in December 2020, came up with this
3-0 tournaments. Like, this be specific? Like, were they 2-5 or 3-0 tournaments?
Okay. You don't.
Yeah. Actually, it was a 3-0 tournament.
Yeah.
And we took second. We got beat by
second.
Yeah.
Third.
No, we took second. We got beat by this old couple.
Yeah.
That just placed the
best.
ball. Yeah. Painted the lines. Like, yeah. I think she had 2 knee braces on. Like, I was diving as she smoked us. So
yeah, but I didn't have a job. I was unemployed at the time. I had just got laid off. Had gone through a merger. I was getting paid too much money and they let me go. And so the fact that this guy was willing to take the chance with me, emptied out my savings, maxed out all my credit cards. And we started this concept called the Picklr, a 7 indoor pickleball facility in Uinta, Utah. Signed our first lease in January, which thank you to our landlord at the time. Didn't check financials.
Just gave us a lease.
Just gave us a lease to sign. And we opened our doors April of 2021. And holy hell, what a wild roller coaster it's been, and the mistakes that we've made and the growth that we've gone through. It's been incredible.
Thanks for listening to the Franchise Secrets podcast. Links to everything can be found over at franchisesecrets.com. And if you want my help with anything from starting your own franchise to growing your current franchise business, please visit scalablefranchise.com.